Tired of getting constantly accused of being the imposter simply on the accusation of "He's sus"? Then maybe it's a good time to change it up. Hello and welcome to FreverGames. My name is Lynn and welcome to today's Top 10 video. Among Us, without a doubt, has been one of the most popular games from the past year with about 264 million downloads worldwide. Whether you're a pro gamer or a casual gamer, you might at least have heard about the game once. Heck, if you're on the internet, it's hard to avoid. If you're, however, getting tired of being ejected in the space, here are 10 games similar to Among Us that you must try out. Number 10. Town of Salem. Town of Salem is a free-to-play web browser game where you, like in Among Us, live to deceive your town that you are not the werewolf. However, in this 15-player game, there is not only 2 types of roles, there's actually 49 types of roles. You get randomly selected with all different tasks, which can either be beneficial to you, the whole town, or the people who are evil. Number 9. Wolvesville. If you have ever played the popular card game One Night Ultimate Werewolf, you will find this game to be very similar. Wolvesville is a free mobile game for both Android and iOS. Like Town of Salem, there are a lot of roles, but it is mostly focused on the werewolves as the bad players. There's 5 different game modes in Wolvesville. Quick Game, the first game mode. In the game mode, they pair you up with 16 players for a simple quick game for the more casual players. Ranked Games. Ranked games allow you to compete against more skilled players to climb leaderboards and obtain prizes. Custom Games. Here you can create games with custom rules, roles, and features. Play with friends, quite obvious. In this game mode, you're able to create private lobbies. However, if you're not 16 players, the game will send you to a quick game with other players to fill up the spots. Last game mode, Sandbox. Sandbox is just a testing mode where you can help out finding bugs to make Wolvesville a better playing experience. Number 8. Hidden in Plain Sight. Compared to the other 2 games, Hidden in Plain Sight is actually a local multiplayer game, which means you can play this game in person with your friends. This game can only be played in a group of 2 or 4. In this game, you have to complete various tasks while you try to blend in with a big AI crowd. While do this, you also have to eliminate members in the crowd without getting seen. This game is PC only and can be bought on Steam. The game, however, requires a controller for all party members. Number 7. Werewolf Within. Another werewolf game, how exciting! Yes, this game is also very similar to Wolvesville and Town of Salem, but it does have its own components that make the game unique, unlike your apprehensions. Werewolf Within is actually a PlayStation VR game. When it comes to virtual reality, it definitely gives off another feeling when you have to lie to people that you see moving and talking in real time as these medieval-looking characters. In this game, you can only play 6 people, but it is totally worth it. In Werewolf Within, they are definitely taking advantage of the fact that the game is in VR, where you can actually use certain movements that help you out to find out who the werewolf is. 1. If there's a very heated discussion, you can stand up and it will silence all the other players if there's something you really needed to say to the group. Also, it has a feature where you can lean over to the person sitting next to you and it will count as whispering to them, and no other teammate will be able to hear it. If you want to play this game, you will have to own a PS4 and a PlayStation VR headset. But if you have those, totally go for it. Number 6. Enemy on Board. Enemy on Board is pretty similar to Among Us, whereas the theme is set in space and you have to find out who the 2 imposter aliens are, but of course, it's got its own twist. In this game, you get to play with 8 people, where 2 people are aliens, and like Among Us, the crewmates have to find out who the aliens are and defeat them to win the game. Your task is not only to win the game by finding out who the alien is, there are also phases to the game. There are 4 phases, if you manage to survive for that long. The first phase is the generator breakage phase, where you and your crewmates all get equipped with repair kits to make sure the generators don't blow up and destroy the spaceship. Second phase is the armory phase. This phase opens the armory, where you find a bunch of weapons and health. Third phase is the cyborg phase. In this phase, the cyborg core is back online. The aliens in this phase permanently transfer into their alien form, and the crew can use their cyborg suit to try and take on the aliens one-on-one. Fourth and last phase is the escape phase. And just as it sounds, it's the phase where the escape pods are leaving, and the players must enter and duke it out in close quarters, kinda like in the 1979 Alien movie. Number 5. Triple Agent. To play Triple Agent, you need 5 to 9 people and 1 mobile device. Each game is up to 10 minutes, where each player is assigned a hidden role. This game can only be played in person, but it's totally worth it. You get assigned to a role that is either the service or a double agent for virus. You pass the phone around as they get events that reveal secret information about other players, which can change how the game plays out completely. At the end of the game, all the players vote who gets to go to prison. The game has a really cool art style and visuals and is available on the App Store or Google Play for free. Number 4. Garry's Mod Trouble in Terrorist Town. If you have ever played Garry's Mod, you might have seen the word TTT, or Trouble in Terrorist Town. Garry's Mod itself is the official game, which is just a physics sandbox game that has no specific goals. This game is very old, but thanks to the lack of rules in the sandbox aspect, people have made multiple games from Harry Potter roleplay to hide and seek, and in this case, games like Among Us. Trouble in Terrorist Town is set in a parody universe of the Counter-Strike universe. The game is about a group of terrorists who have traitors among them out to kill everyone who isn't a traitor. There are multiple standalone servers, which you can play TTT, so in case you only want to play the game with people who speak your native language, you can most likely find that. A thing that makes this game a fan favorite is all the different types of maps you can play in. They got it all, from Toy Story's Andy's Room to a big cruise ship. Garry's Mod can be found on Steam for PC. Number 3. Secret Neighbor. Not to be confused with Hello Neighbor, even though it's the same developer. It's not the same game. Secret Neighbor is Hologryph's version of an Among Us type game set in the same universe as Hello Neighbor. In this game, you play as 6 children trying to break into the basement of your creepy and weird neighbor. But the catch is that one of the kids is actually the neighbor in disguise. You team up to find the 6 keys to unlock the basement before the neighbor catches all the kids. In Secret Neighbor, it is very beneficial to have an item on you at all times to help your friends by throwing items at the neighbor to stun him, resulting in him dropping the player. After the game release, they actually added 6 different classes or roles to the game, which you can use to your advantage. Leader makes all the nearby players faster and blinds the neighbor if nearby. Brave can escape the grip of the neighbor, which stuns him. Inventor can craft items by gathering cogwheels. Scout use nuts to fire at the neighbor with her slingshot. Detective has a photo of a key's location. Bagger has an extra inventory slot, and if you keep your inventory full for a longer period of time, you may gain another inventory slot. In this game, the imposter also got their unique quirks. You have the normal scary neighbor abilities where you can disguise yourself as a kid, put down bear traps, and rage, which causes you to become faster and invulnerable for a small period of time. You have the clown ability, where you got the smoke bombs, confusion, where you can disguise yourself as a household object, and last, camouflage. The last ability is Butcher. As Butcher, you can use a meat hook, where you throw a hook to catch the kid. Pathfinder, which is a passive ability, where you can find tracks from where the children have been. And at last, Fake Crows, which places a fake crow that acts like a real one, but is there to track the child. This game is available on Xbox, PlayStation, Google Stadia, and Windows on Steam. Number 2. Project Winter. If you love to backstab your friends, what's wrong with you? No, but in reality, if you love to backstab your friends, then Project Winter is just for you. Project Winter is a survival multiplayer game set in a harsh, cold, snow-filled winter landscape. In this game, you can play up to 8 players with 1 traitor, unless it's in a custom game where you can pick how many traitors you want. The key feature is that just like in Among Us, you gotta survive. But since you're set in a cold landscape, you do not only have to fight the traitor, but you also have to fight the harsh climate and its wildlife. There are 6 different survival roles that aren't just the normal survivor, and there are 3 different traitor roles. There's, however, one role called Identity Thief that isn't traitor or survivor, where you can steal the role of a dead player and can use all the abilities as the dead survivor. The reason this game is ranked number 2 is because of how heavy the game is focused on teamwork, and you have to work really hard to win the game. If the teamwork is bad, you simply won't win. The communication in this game is really important because of the heavy teamwork aspect, so it's pretty cool how they implemented the communication system in the game. They have a proximity voice chat, private voice chat, radio, text chat, and emotes, making the game quirky for both survivors and traitors. Last, but certainly not least, number 1, Deceit. Hey, who vented? Now to a game that's not as sus as Among Us and is actually pretty outstanding, Deceit. If you're tired of the more childish audience Among Us has gotten, Deceit will be perfect for you. Deceit is pretty simple. You're one of 6 people put in, if you've seen the movie, a Saw type of scenario. To sum it up, a random pair of players has been experimented on and turned, in Among Us terms, into imposters, but in this game, they're called terrors. The objective for the terrors is to drink blood to fill up their blood bar so they can turn into monsters to hunt down the other players without them finding out who they are when the lights turn off. The objectives are quite simple. If you've noticed, most of the games in this list is to simply survive and vote out players. What's interesting about this game is that it's played as a first-person shooter game, which none of the games above are, making it pretty special and more targeted to the older audience. The game is also pretty scary, and I would not recommend the game to an average Among Us player, but so are also the maps that you play on, and they all have whole different styles from Arctic laboratories to cabin in the wood type of settings. Like in Project Winter, this game also has in-game voice chat, which also makes the game way more immersive. In Deceit, unlike Among Us, the way to vote out people is way harder because you actually have to find the player to vote them out. So even if you found out who the terror is, you still have to be able to fight them off and get others to find and vote for them to win, and making the game way faster and adrenaline-filled. Deceit is free to play on Steam, so if you like Among Us, you should definitely check it out. That's all we have for Top 10 games like Among Us. Keep in mind that there are a ton of good games like Among Us, so if your favorite didn't make the cut, feel free to drop it in the comments down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more game-related content, and I'll see you next time. Later!